Well, it's happening again as we continue to wait and see whether there will even be an attempt made to hold Donald Trump accountable for his various actions while president related to the January 6th Trump riots. Donald Trump appeared Sunday night on Mark Levin's Fox News show, and he admitted to the crime of obstruction, and it is not the first time that he has done it. Trump straight up told Mark Levin, "I fired James Comey. If I didn't, he would have taken down the president. He would have taken down me." This is an admission that Trump's firing of Comey was deliberately calculated to stop the progress of an investigation of which Trump was a subject and which Trump calculated would ultimately come back to hurt him. This is obstruction of justice. Let's take a look at this first clip. The content is also part of a broader situation of hilarity and horror, which is that Donald Trump was on Mark Levin's show to promote his picture book. And you might be saying, what do you mean a picture book? Yeah, we covered a week or two ago, like many past presidents, Donald Trump has put out a book. Unlike past presidents, Donald Trump's book is a picture book with captions that read like tweets. Many of them are insults about people like Nancy Pelosi and others. I mean, at every layer, at every level, it's completely pathetic and humiliating. But Donald Trump is promoting it anyway. So let's get right into the moment in question here. I would say listen carefully, but you barely need to listen carefully to understand what it is Donald Trump is saying here.
The most incredible things. Don't forget, I fired Comey. Had I not fired Comey, you might not be talking to me right now about a beautiful book of 4 years at the White House. And we'll see about the future. The future is going to be very interesting. But I fired Comey, that whole group, and now that group is coming back again? I mean, it's not believable. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. Shouldn't be allowed to happen.
I fired Comey, and if I hadn't, you might not be talking to me right now. So you knew that Comey continuing to investigate might be bad for you, and you fired him to interfere and obstruct with the interfere with and obstruct the investigation. That's obstruction of justice. Trump says, I couldn't have survived if I did not fire James Comey. And in this next clip, and now this is a former president, guys. Trump even raises the term deep state, that it was deep state actors. Off the wall bonkers stuff from anyone. Never mind a former president of the United States.
The words deep state, but they've been there for a long time. They've been in the Justice Department. They've been in the FBI. They've been in CIA. So you're coming into a hornet's nest. I was going to say before, if I didn't fire Comey, they were looking to take down the president of the United States. If I didn't fire him, and some people said he made a mistake when he fired Comey. And now those same people said it was the most incredible instinctual moves that they've ever seen. Because I might be here with you, perhaps we'll be talking about something else. But I don't think I could have survived if I didn't fire him, because it was like a hornet's nest. When I fired him, they all went crazy against each other.
So multiple admissions to obstruction. We could focus in on the deep state stuff. The deep state stuff is not dissimilar from the sort of shadow government conspiracies we've talked about before. These take many different forms. Sometimes the gist of shadow government conspiracy theories is that the real elected officials are merely a facade. There's an underbelly of those who really control what's going on. And it's sort of a fill in the blank, choose your own adventure of who that is. Sometimes it's the Illuminati. Sometimes it's Democrats. Sometimes it's a pedophile ring. The Jews is a classic. It could be, the Saudis. I mean, every version of shadow government exists. Deep state is just a version of that. That's all it is, and Trump's promoting it. So we're not even going to get into that. Obstruction of justice. Donald Trump says in no uncertain terms here, I fired James Comey. because the FBI was looking into my actions, and it might have been really bad if he were able to complete that investigation unfettered. So I stopped it. Think about any other scenario in which an individual takes actions to prevent law enforcement from investigating them. It's obstruction. It's obstruction. And you all know that I've said, some of you yell at me when I say it, I don't think Trump will ever do a day in prison. I just don't see it. And I still think that that's the case. I don't think Trump's going to do a day in prison. But without a doubt, the admissions that he has now made multiple times, the facts, it points to Attorney General Merrick Garland should be pushing forward on a Trump probe here. We don't know exactly what Garland's up to. It doesn't really seem like he's doing it. How many times does Donald Trump have to implicate himself before someone will say, okay, you know what, let's do it. Let's look into it. Statute of limitations, not the reason. 5 years on obstruction. We are at 4.5. We are starting to get tight on time when it comes to the statute of limitations on obstruction, as far as I understand, but it is not yet up. Is it as simple as there's one set of rules for people like Trump and a different set of rules for normal people? Maybe now we're getting warmer. Is there something here about putting partisanship aside? Even a Democratic attorney general understands that opening up the door to the prosecution of a former president is a door that he doesn't want to open and maybe has been encouraged not to open. Maybe. I don't know. But at this point, how many times is Trump going to admit what he did before it's taken seriously and actually investigated?
One of our sponsors is Kamikoto, making elegant, high-end, beautiful Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Honshu, Japan. I've been a big fan of Japanese kitchen knives for a long time. They have some great advantages. When you look closely at a Kamikoto knife, you see the quality of the ironwork. They only use Japanese steel. Every knife comes in a perfect heavy-duty ash wood box, makes storage really easy. It looks great in your kitchen or drawer. The balance of the knives is just amazing. I've been using them for everything. Every knife comes with a lifetime guarantee. On their website, you can see the complete list of chefs at Michelin star restaurants who use Kamikoto. And through this partnership they're doing with us, Kamikoto is giving you $50 off on top of their other special offers. Just go to kamikoto.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for $50 off. The link is down below.